It's almost 1 year after the watershed general election, and one question that many have is, have things really changed in Singapore? The NUS Political Science Department invited MP for Ang Mo Kio GRC Dr. INTAN AZURA MOKHTAR, NC MP JONG from Workers' Party, NC MP Lina Chiam from Singapore People's Party, NMP Tan SHAN, and NUS Adjunct Law Professor Kevin Tan to debate just that at a panel discussion entitled GE+1 Has Anything Really Changed? The 5 speakers agreed that policies, politics and people have evolved.
And we see a series of what can be described as populist policies, like the reduction in ministerial salaries, the reduction in foreign worker passes, the reduction of benefits for PRs vis-a-vis Singaporeans. We see a budget which is populist. My question now is whether we are seeing the ruling party coming up with policies which are more populist in nature, and what does that bode for Singapore?
Dr. INTAN defended the government's decision, saying that the recent policy changes were necessary and not populist.
I would dare say that for my fellow parliamentarians from the ruling party, it's not because of the sudden change in tide or because of the last GE that they did a 180-degree turnaround and decided we must go the way of being populist. These are long-held beliefs, things that they've been fighting for, which maybe have not been implemented a few years back, and probably now is a good time to implement it because the government decided that this is probably the right time.
Mr. Yi agreed that the budget was a step in the right direction.
Every time there's competition and the competitions get hotter, the incumbents will have to respond. But really, it's not so much about opposition, it's really about the people that all these policies are intended to benefit. So, for us, we support what was in the budget, most of it. Because we see that it really benefits the kind of people that we have been talking about for so many years.
Managing Director of DBS, Ms. Tan SHAN, argued that the budget did not address long-term concerns.
I worry because I think you can't ignore social media, and if you're in a position of power and the voice is loud enough, it will affect you.
She had a lively exchange with Dr. INTAN about how to cool the property market instead of imposing a 10% stamp duty tax on foreigners buying high-end properties.
The REITs market, you could create a very strong Sing dollar capital market in Singapore to take in that foreign flow. It doesn't have to be just property.
So is the change in policy stance geared towards the needs of Singaporeans, or a knee-jerk reaction to the election that saw PAP's vote share fall to a low of 60.1%?
Whether or not this is just another replay of the same template. In other words, every time you lose some votes, you come with a populist policy. It may well be, but I think if they carry on with this template, they are in trouble. They will be very, very deep trouble because this template is not going to work very long. People are beginning to scrutinize. They will start asking serious questions.
Is the new political landscape in Singapore due to a generational change in voters? Watch on as Razor TV brings you full coverage of the forum discussion.